incentive for lending to the private sector, leading to resource allocation shifting away from the core of the real economy. This is according to the latest banking sector report by the Kenya Bankers Association.
In September 2016, Kenya ushered in a new controlled interest rates regime that was expected to lower the cost of borrowing, and even more feared that it would hit the earnings of players in the banking sector.
What you're simply seeing is a situation where the businesses are less profitable than ordinarily they should be, and therefore their tax contribution is not as substantial. And if you have government programs to fund, then you have to continue coming to the market.
In the latest banking sector report, the Kenya Bankers Association says that the industry remains on solid ground, having found ways of surviving the rate cap, but players in the lower segments of the economy, such as the small and medium enterprises, have in turn been locked out from accessing credit, leaving the economy growing at suboptimal levels.
Traditionally, banks should be making money from financial intermediation, but as you saw in the report and the presentation earlier today, commercial banks are making money through holding government securities, which in a sense has created this lack of inclusivity in economic growth in the economy. So I think we need to intensify reforms on the interest rate cap. We need to make the private sector an engine of growth again.
Other factors anchoring the stability of the sector include growth in net assets, which have continued to expand over the last 15 years, although the year-on-year growth is declining. Year-on-year growth in deposits and loans have also declined, especially since the rate cap law took effect in 2016. Non-performing loans, which had dropped to below 5% in 2010 from a high of 35% in 2003, have been rising over the last 3 years to stand at 11% last year. Victor Kiprop, NTV Business.
And staying with the banking sector, the board of the National Bank of Kenya has now raised caution over the takeover by KCB Group under the proposed terms, citing undervaluation. In a statement to shareholders, the board of National Bank says an independent advisor's report reveals that the fair value of the bank's share should be considered at 6 shillings and 10 cents, 60% above the KCB Group's offer price. National Bank Board argues that the ideal swap ratio should be 6.23 shares for each KCB share and not 10 shares as the deal is presently structured. This comes 3 weeks after NBK's shareholders approved the conversion of 1.2 billion non-cumulative preference shares into ordinary shares ahead of the planned takeover. The board has, however, recommended the offer to shareholders for consideration because there is no responsive competing offer. And now to the regulator. Providers of payment services will now be required to conduct quarterly systems vulnerability assessment in a move aimed at stepping up consumer protection against the rising cybersecurity threats. In its guidelines for payment service providers, the central bank also wants all providers to have a chief information security officer tasked with developing and maintaining the cybersecurity strategy and program. These guidelines come at a time when a 2018 survey conducted by consulting firm Seriano established that 60% of companies in Kenya report a shortage of skill in countering cybersecurity. The report also put the cost of cybercrime to Kenya's economy in 2018 at 29.5 billion shillings. And elsewhere, women leaders and other stakeholders all gathered at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology to explore ways in which women can help secure the country's food security. Food insecurity ranges from famine to periodic hunger and uncertain food supply. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations Organization in the world, an estimated 10 million Kenyans are currently insecure, with the number set to rise as maize shortage and high prices persist. According to the Global Hunger Index, an estimated 1 in every 5 Kenyans is struggling with food insecurity and poor nutrition.
We're here today as women who represent the different faces of Kenya to deliberate on how best we can support the Big Four agenda by providing our ideas and solutions towards food security for every Kenyan.
Now, Kenya is set to receive 2.3 billion shillings from the Green Climate Fund to finance projects to end drought emergencies in the country's arid areas. Using the funds, Kenya is expected to build the resilience of communities and ecosystems of those areas to withstand future climate shocks and stresses, taking into consideration the unique conditions, challenges and opportunities of dry-range lands. This will be achieved through improving livestock breeds and grass species to make them more resilient to the harsh weather. Kenya is among the 99 developing countries that will benefit from the 23rd round funding from the Green Climate Fund. And up next is the financial report. And that's it from the business desk. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Beat germs with Jik. Kills 99.9% of germs on your kitchen surfaces, sponges, chopping boards, sink and fridge, and your bathroom taps, shower head, basin and surfaces. Just Jik it. Look out for our new improved packaging in store. Just Jik it.
Jik up to 50% off at the Jumia anniversary sale.
Nation FM. More music and less talk. Nairobi 96.3, Mombasa 101.5, Meru 93.9, Nyeri 104.9, Eldoret 102.7, and Nakuru on 97.7. Follow us on social media on Facebook at Nation FM, Instagram at Nation FM, and on Twitter at Nation FM KE. Nation FM. More music and less talk.
I told you to kick it more to the left.
No, kick it higher.
No, to the left.
Come on, guys, stop it. Remember the win.
OneXBet, African betting partner of Tottenham Hotspur.
Okash is the quickest and easiest way to request short-term loans from your mobile phone whenever you need them. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings in one day and choose between a 14 or 28-day term to repay it at a fair interest rate that adjusts to your needs. Okash connects seamlessly with your M-Pesa account to facilitate and speed up your loan requests. Download Okash today from Google Play Store and join thousands of Kenyans enjoying the Okash experience.
Making my family some nutritious porridge is a painstaking process. First, I have to find all the ingredients needed, and there are many. For vitamins, proteins, and minerals, I need cassava, sorghum, millet. You no longer need to go through all that to make nutritious porridge. All you need is NutriPro.
You don't have to go through the trouble of finding, measuring, and weighing all these vital ingredients. New NutriPro porridge flour comes fortified with 13 vitamins, proteins, and minerals. This means that you have more time to focus on what's important, giving your family the healthy start they deserve. NutriPro, bringing families together. From Tropical Brand.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, sign language interpreter this evening is David Gondoa. Now, the Lake Basin Development Authority, LBDA management, has come out guns blazing and accused the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of conducting what it termed as endless investigations over the alleged scam at the 4.2 billion LBDA mall.
And this comes barely a day after a section of the civil society and the residents of Kisumu took to the streets to protest the ongoing probe of Kisumu County Assembly Speaker Onyango Olo, claiming it was political and malicious. Okukusa with the details.
That was yesterday. The residents crying foul and alleging that the graft claims were meant to derail the opening of the multi-billion shopping complex.
We therefore appeal to the agencies mandated in fighting graft or corruption to stop politicizing this matter.
Tufungulie Basin Mall, tufanye kazi, uchunguzi mfanye kivyenu. Lakini swali ni, wengine wako wapi? Mbona Onyango Olo peke yake?
And this morning, the management of the authority, led by Managing Director Raymond Omolu and Board Chairman Odoyo Owidi, added their voices to the concerns.
In and around this region, there are many other agencies which have spent billions of government money. They have nothing to show for it. Yet, the Lake Basin Development Authority has been under constant investigation, statement writing, and visiting and office raids since 2013.
They want the anti-graft body to expedite and conclude investigations over the matter within the shortest time possible.
We also requested that if they have any evidence, which they started looking for in 2013, to take the culprits to court so that the bad publicity this mall gets on a daily basis can come to an end.
But EACC in a rejoinder said that the files were ready and it was only a matter of time before the suspects are arraigned. Last month, EACC officers raided the homes of officials suspected of being involved in financial improprieties in the construction of the mall, amongst them the Kisumu County Assembly Speaker Onyango Olo. In November last year, 9 former and current board members were interrogated following claims that the project costs could have been inflated from 1.9 billion shillings to 4.2 billion. Under the procurement laws, variations should not surpass 15%. Okukusa, NTV.
Right, time now for another break. Sports is on the other side, but coming straight after our news tonight is Sidebar. And on Sidebar tonight, we are talking about the tough wars between the National Assembly and the Senate. My panel tonight, legislators Mithika Linturi and Peter Kaluma. Also joining them are advocates Joim Divo and Martin Olo. Join the conversation. The hashtag, as always, will be Sidebar shortly. And obviously we'll be responding and sampling some of your comments, because we asked you a question earlier for Sidebar. Do you think the National Assembly intentionally undermines the Senate? We'll be dealing with that when we come back. Right now,
a break.
Musikizeni civil servants, if you need a loan, call Managing Credit today. Utapatiwa loan within 6 hours.
Do not get stuck when you can get quick approvals within 6 hours. Mwananchi Credit, investor in people.
I will not buy anything fresh from the supermarkets.
With the rising in population and demand, people want to make quick money.
Ni makosa sana kama manager hivi ya kujagundue mnatupa nyama mnaleta hasara.
This product is also used by pharmaceutical agencies. It's also used by textile industries. They bleach the clothes with it.
Unasema ni ngapi?
Dawa sinaweza tosha kilo.
So we bought the chemical.
It has a lot of implications.
By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Our world felt like a storybook. We were unstoppable. Eternity was ours.
She never wavered from the vow she made to me on our wedding day. I wish I could say the same. I need you to sign the divorce papers.
The greatest gift a father can give his children is to love their mother.
As the days turned into weeks, I could feel myself changing inside, physically, spiritually, and even mentally as well.
Okash is the quickest and easiest way to request short-term loans from your mobile phone whenever you need them. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings in one day and choose between a 14 or 28-day term to repay it. Download Okash today from Google Play Store, enjoying the Okash experience.
And a very good evening to you. I'm Sean Carter-Villis with the latest sports news. Now, the national women's volleyball team, the Malkia Strikers, opened their campaign at the CAVB Africa Cup of Nations with a straight sets victory over Algeria in Group B in the tournament that served off in Cairo, Egypt. Kenya saw off Algeria in sets of 25-19, 25-21 and 25-21 to rack in their first victory. The Malkia Strikers, who lost 3-1 to Cameroon in the final of the 2017 edition in Yaoundé, will take on Botswana on Wednesday in the next group tie. Shailene Ramdou's Chargers will then complete their Pool B matches when they renew their rivalry with a tie against defending champions Cameroon on Thursday. Meanwhile, Cameroon beat Botswana in straight sets 25-12, 25-17 and 25-10 in the group's other tie. Hosts Egypt, Senegal and Morocco are the other teams in Pool A. (2014) Glasgow Commonwealth and Africa 10,000 metres champion Joyce Chepkirui, alongside long-distance runner John Jacob Kibet Kandagor, are the latest Kenyans to be suspended for doping offences. Chepkirui, who also won the Amsterdam and Honolulu marathons in 2015, besides finishing 10th in Boston Marathon the same year, has been suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit after some discrepancies in her athletics biological passport. Kandagor is accused of evading and refusing or failing to submit to sample collection and testing. Kandagor competed last in Istanbul Marathon in November last year, finishing 5th. AK has already moved to bar any Kenyan athlete who is doped from representing the country again. It now brings to 12 the number of Kenyan elite athletes that AIU has either suspended or banned for doping offences this year. Bandari are in danger of failing to progress to the knockout phase of the ongoing Sekafa Kagame Cup after a 2-2 draw against hosts Mukura victory at the Hui Stadium. Shaban Kenga gave the Dockers a 23rd minute lead before Nkingi Salah and Ntwati Vade put the hosts ahead in the second half. Yema Mwana then equalised for Bandari in the 90th minute. Bandari, who drew 1-1 with KCCA in its opening game, have 2 points in 2 games and need to win against the defending champions Azam from Tanzania to progress from Group B. Meanwhile, Gor Mahia will progress to the knockout with a win over AS Port at the Umugunda Stadium in Hoi on Wednesday afternoon after beating DR Congo's AS Mania 2-1 in its opening game on Monday. Now, after the passing of the football legend Joe Kadenge, tributes have been coming in respect to the football wizard, with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga among those who visited the family at his residence in Nairobi to condole with them. Raila commemorated the football legend as a very selfless and funny person and whose ease of dealing with people was admirable.
Family and friends of the legendary football player Joe Kadenge trickled in one after the other to condole with the family. Among them, former Premier Raila Odinga. Raila described Kadenge as a true legend, player and coach who will greatly be missed.
We have lost a great soccer legend in our country, a philanthropist, a man who loved the nation of Kenya, the youth, and who wanted to promote this game, to see that Kenyan soccer is lifted to international standards.
Funeral arrangements are underway and a fundraiser is to be held on Tuesday 16th of July at Charter Hall, Nairobi, to defray the funeral expenses, which are expected to cost at least 5 million shillings.
Na sisi kama familia tunasema kwamba udhaifu wa fedha umekuwepo, because mzee amekuwa mdhaifu.
A funeral service will follow on Wednesday 17th of July at Friends International Church, Ngong Road. The late Kadenge's body will be flown to Kakamega on the 18th, where his football career began, and will be open for a public viewing at the Bukungu Stadium, Kakamega County. He will be buried on Saturday, 20th of July at his rural home in Gisambai, Vihiga County. Befinokoth, NTV.
Staying with football, Ferjani Sassi scored the winning kick as Tunisia beat Ghana 5-4 on penalties to set up an African Cup of Nations quarter-final with Madagascar. Goalkeeper Farouk Ben Mustafa was the hero, coming on.
Wake up to nothing but the best in news, conversation starters and hard-hitting interviews that keep you informed for the day ahead.
Up and early, 6 on the nose, these people don't sleep. Fix first the data protection law, then we come up with the number. Exactly my question to CS Joe Michel.
Welcome to Living With This. I'm your host, Sharon Mundia. Boy, have you missed out.
Stop your wheel, game done.
Thank you for joining us on NTV today.
We have our reporters in different locations.
NTV is right here to bring you everything from the beginning to the end.
Hii ni NTV Sasa.
Became fellow American Alison Riske to reach the Wimbledon semi-finals as she closes in on an 8th All-England club title and a 24th major overall. The 37-year-old Williams put behind the setback of being fined
around and set agenda for this country.
Yani, unataka tuendelee kuishi kwa hiyo kibanda ulikuwa unaishi ukiwa bado bachelor?
Sasa tunawachana, nataka tu tunafanya kitu tukiwa wawili.
Unajua hizo mistari za old syllabus tuliacha form 1.
Kwa sababu wewe ni senior Matianyu unakatiwa na nini Pawaso?
I'm officially engaged to the Prince Crotus Sabong.
Kwani Crotus ni nani?
Crotus ndio mdosi wake.
Kumbe unataka kupendwa serikali eh?
Kukusaidia naweza kusaidia. Lakini kama unafikiria unalala pale kwangu, hiyo sahau. Wewe kulala pale ni kama Trump kucheza out dance.
Sawa, nitarudi with a bang.
Hiyo usingizi yako ni ile tulipia rent. Kwani umekuwa mtoto?
Leones ndo agaenda kuhunt.
My name is Janet. It's either utawezana na mimi ama urudi pale umetoka. She's the best housemate.
All right, thank you so much, Sean Cadavelis, for that. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this hour, but stay tuned because Sidebar will be starting in just a few minutes, and of course, quite an interesting conversation we'll be having.
Right, the war between the Senate and the National Assembly, you have to talk about that, and the legislations that have been passed without the consent of the Senate. We'll try to put that to the Senate, Senator who's here and the member of the National Assembly,
all right,
because we are having lawyers also to help us discuss this.
And put all these things into perspective. All right, thank you so much, Ken. Well, this is where it ends for me. Thank you so much for watching. Our sign language interpreter this evening was David Agondo. My name is Zeynab Ismail. Good evening.
Right, thanks, Zayn. And of course, Sidebar begins in just a few. And my guests are already seated here. Just to introduce them, they were very early. Good evening, gentlemen. And thank you for coming. So tonight, gentlemen and lady. All right, so our discussion begins straight after this. In about 4 minutes, we'll be discussing all this. And we asked you a question earlier. We asked you, do you think the National Assembly is intentionally undermining the Senate? Use the hashtag Sidebar, because when we come back, we'll be scrolling some of your comments. And of course, we'll be talking to you. And we'll seek your response. Stay with us. My guests are already here.